Namaskar ji. Today I am joined by my chacha, the great John Copley Alter. मेरे father Tom Alter के बड़े भाई हैं ये. Your younger brother Tom, my father Tom. You have a book coming out. A book it's called Tom, and our viewers know more about that.
So I will speak in English only, and I do so, my friends, because I'm so aware that compared to my brother, I am a garbled, tongue-tied, uh, you know, ex-Indian or whatever I am. But
You're not that bad.
what I want to do today is to share with you um, two aspects of Tom that you may know, that many of you may know, but that I know, I know at least one of them better than anybody.
Mm.
Namely, I would love to talk a little bit about Tom as a brother, and in particular as a younger brother, and in particular as a younger brother when we were both young. And
Mm.
we were just shaping who we have lived our lives as. The other thing I want to do is to pay tribute to or engage with Tom's love, his absolutely deep, profound love of language, and more particularly of poetry. He was a poet, he was a man who, one of the sweetest things, if you had never got to see it, whenever he would read his own poetry, he would shake and shudder. He was so, I mean, Tom was seldom nervous, but he was very nervous when he read his own poems. He was, because he knew that Ghalib and Dylan Thomas and all the great poets, and even perhaps his brother, um, would be listening. So that's what I'd love to do, Jamie, is to just
Absolutely.
is to talk, and I would love to read some things out of the book. The book is a tribute to my brother, to your father, to our friend, to Tom Alter, but also to language and to poetry. So with your ijazat, with your permission, I would love to go. I'm going to read a little bit and then comment as we go along. And I'm going to start with some words from a translation that Tom did of Ghalib. And I'm not going to read the Urdu because, like you, I can't read the Urdu, but I will read the English. And here's what Tom wrote: My words are very difficult, oh my heart. Hearing them again and again, the scholars of language request me to speak in a simpler manner. If I speak, it is difficult. Otherwise, if I do not speak, it is also difficult. And I think I share that one, obviously, because Tom loved Ghalib more than any poet I think there is. And secondly, because while Tom often seemed so irrepressible and at ease, I think in his heart of hearts, he wrestled, as we all do, with finding authentic words.
Mm.
You know, I mean, Tom knew so many words in so many languages. To find authentic words, my words are very difficult. Then I want to read the tribute, the dedication to the book Tom, that's available on Amazon, as all things are available on Amazon. What can we not get on Amazon? Uh, by the way, Tom hated Amazon. Tom had
He hated most things online unless it gave him the latest cricket scores and the latest New York Yankees scores. Baki, he had no time for internet.
absolutely, absolutely. Oh, so anyway, here is the dedication. Tom Alter, profound logothete, not athlete, logothete, lover of language. Dylan Thomas, Bob Dylan, Ghalib. In the original, actor, son, brother, husband, father, best of friends, athlete, sportsman, cricket, baseball, Protestant, in the full sense, against mediocrity and mendacity, a true citizen, one who encouraged and inspired, generous of spirit, nostalgic in the full sense, sentimental in the best sense. You lived life abundantly. So Tom lived life abundantly. The pleasure of Tom as my younger brother when I was a boy is that whenever my spirits would flag, and as a teenager that would happen from time to time, Tom, who was always younger, he couldn't help it. He was always wanting to play. And I would go from being morose and melancholy adolescent to pretending to be, the captain of the Indian cricket team. So, but Tom, from his earliest days, loved Dylan Thomas. So if any of you want to understand my brother, one thing to do is to read Dylan Thomas. It's not a hard task. There are not many poems, but they capture something. And I'm going to read you only a few words from Dylan Thomas's great poem, Fern Hill. Now, as I was young and easy under the apple boughs, time let me hail and climb, golden in the heydays of his eyes. Sorry, I was trying to pretend to be Dylan Thomas. I should have had a cigarette and a scotch, but it's funny because Dylan Thomas and Tom Alter have nothing in common except for their love of language. Tom never smoked a cigarette that I know of, drank very few scotches, if he drank any, and was certainly never a dissolute Welshman. So I want to then read another poem, if this is going well.
Absolutely.
And it begins with a little line from another one of Tom's favorite poets, Walt Whitman. And Walt Whitman, at the end of his great poem, Song of Myself, has a wonderful closing where he imagines himself having died. And he says, I will be dirt under your boots. And then he says, I shall be good health to you. And I think about that. I think about Tom, and the ending of his life was miserable. But if I think about those of us who have lived longer than Tom, or who are living now, I think Tom is good health to us. I think about you, Jamie, and I think, your father is good health to you. and to your son, and to his friends, and to his old brother. It's just, there was in him, that which was Maza, that which was Josh, which was good health. And so this last summer, I was lucky in the midst of the COVID pandemic to be able to go to a lovely place in New Hampshire in the US called Bear Island. And when I was at Bear Island, I thought a lot about my brother Tom. And here is what I wrote. I shall be good health to you. These poems, time passes. 3 ages ago, you were wrestling with mortality, my brother. Today, you are open in my mind like a score of music, a keyboard, waiting. We are on the shores of a lake in New England today. Your laughter, laughing loons. You are not amazed by all that has grown out of your life, verdant, surprising, fresh. You wait for us somewhere, I know, sipping tea, composing ghazals. I don't know exactly what you and Maulana would make of our world today, not to mention Ghalib and Gandhi, not to mention Lala Amarnath or the Beatles, and of course, not mentioning our parents. What would they make of Donald Trump, of Modi, of how the pandemic is reordering things, of fire and famine? And you, my brother, who would be 70 now, Dada Tom, what would you think? That old saying, what would so-and-so do or think? I often play that game. I think, what would Tom make of the world in which we live?
Yep.
Because Tom was a person who, from the youngest age, lived the way that I don't know what to call it, the way almost that a wind chime lives. That is, life, whatever was happening, made him ring, made him alive.
Yep.
And he had very little patience with anything that would deaden spirit or detract from love and meaning. So that's just a little taste. The book is Tom. It's I think you'll enjoy it. It has quite a bit of his translations, and then his brother's poems. He loved poetry.